Sunday. I'll be doing these live sessions every Sunday. If anything changes, I'll let you know ahead of time. And we'll be discussing topics such as this. Today, we're talking about self confidence and the impact that it has on your life and how to increase it. So, first off, I'd like to start off with a quote. It says, "Love can exist where there is no trust." Now, many of us struggle with self confidence because there's a lack of trust in ourselves. There's a lack of belief that you are good enough. See, this can be applied to many situations from getting a new job to letting someone know you're interested in them. You start to feel a little nervous. You start to doubt yourself. You start to hit yourself with all these what ifs. What if I get rejected? What if I'm not good enough? What if I mess up or say the wrong thing? What if they think I'm an imposter? This is a perspective issue. This is how you see yourself, how you see your environment, and how you see possible outcomes. Hey everyone, if you don't know me, I'm Javon Wooden, founder and mindset coach here at Live Not Loathe. I started this company because I recognized the need for black men to receive guidance and coaching that has been tailored to the black experience. See, as black men, many of us go through trauma in our past that has not been properly addressed. The result of this is depression, anxiety, or a host of other health issues, all stemming from stress. Not only this, but it is impossible to unlock your full power while you are in a constant state of stagnation or regression internally. So, I've created a transformational coaching program or business that has been time tested and tailored for us. Now, in this session, I'll be covering some ways to change your perspective and get back to truly trusting yourself and loving yourself. It's a chain. You can't have self confidence if you don't have trust and love. These two are the foundation. And if your foundation is weak, then your kingdom will come crumbling down. Now, for those that don't know, here at Live Not Low, we use the term kingdom to represent yourself and your circumstances. When you own your kingdom, you have control over your emotions, yourself, your perception, and your outlook, no matter what difficulties you face. It is learning true self mastery to the point where you do not let anyone get you out of character or force you to make bad decisions. Now, I'm putting those two in quotes because nobody can really force you to do anything, right? You have the decision. Now, there's always a result based on the action you choose to take, but you're accountable for that result. So, let's get into this discussion on self confidence. And I want you all to hit me up in the comments and let me know your thought or what comes up for you as we discuss this. There's a few things that I'll focus on today. And when you talk self-confidence, there's a ton of things that can be covered. I'm sure I'll be doing future sessions covering more points that are geared towards increasing or enhancing your self-confidence. But the three I'm focused on today is self-image, perception, and trust. When most of us think of self-image, it's how we see ourselves. Now, that's partly true, but self-image also affects how we are perceived by others. Let me give you an example. My guy, one of my all-time favorites, Muhammad Ali, first said that he was the greatest. Everybody thought he was tripping. They're like, who is this guy? Who the hell is he? Like making this claim. Like, we got all these great champions, right? But he told himself this even before he knew he was, causing others to believe this because he exuded the self-confidence in and out of the ring to speak his mind, to knock out his opponents, and truly become one of the greatest to ever do it. And that's undisputed. If you talk to anybody, he's truly one of the greatest to ever do it. So, how does this apply to you? I want you to really think about who you see yourself as right now. If you're comfortable with it, put it in the chat. If not, it's all good. Just stick with me. And let me know if this resonates with you by clicking the like button or DMing me, however you choose to show that. Now, I hope you really are thinking about this, because I'm going to provide you some techniques and some insight to improve each of these three areas. So for self-image, I'll give you three quick wins. The first is to start small. We tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in a day and underestimate what we can accomplish in a year or 3 years or 5 years. If you're part of my Facebook group, the Mental and Emotional Health Mastery for Black Men, then you've seen me post a video on this topic. Um, I was talking about breaking out big picture goals. What I like to do is I like to identify three goals for the year, the big goals, the ones that are the drivers for my change through that year. And then I'll break out and work backwards from those three to identify smaller goals. Um, so that's one exercise that you can do, and I'm gonna give you a freebie right now. Um, there's another one that's called the clean sweep exercise that I learned from a master coach named Chris Atley. Now, this covers four areas across your life. It covers environment, your physical environment, health and emotional balance, money, and relationships. Now, this exercise helps self image because it removes the clutter from your external environment. And many times, the inner and outer realities reflect one another. You ever heard the saying, cluttered space is cluttered mind? That's where that comes from. Now, when you look across these four areas and score yourself based on how clean they are, you get 25 points. You can get up to 25 points in each sector or each focus. And then once you score, you know where you have work to do. So, for example, if you look across the money area of focus, you may ask yourself, do I really know my net worth? Now, this question is twofold, because not only are you talking about the money aspect, but you're also talking about, do you know what you're worth personally? See, this ties into the self-confidence discussion, because a lot of us, even outwardly project as if we are very confident, as if we have self-assuredness, as if we are decisive. But when it boils down to it, internally we may feel something completely different. And that can really impact the trajectory of your life. It can really impact the decisions you make and the paths you take. And there's such thing as risk averse and risk takers. It kind of ties into that, right? When you're confident in what you want to do, maybe you'll start that business. Maybe you'll go for that new position. Maybe you'll ask that guy or girl out on a date. When you are not so sure, you're not on that sure footing, you again put those doubts in yourself, and you kind of place blockers, artificial obstacles in your way, right? And you never know what can happen, right? If you take that shot, if you take that chance, you may actually surprise yourself. Now let's go back to that question. Do you know how much you're really worth? I hope that the answer for all of you is priceless, because no one can be you. You are bringing something unique to this world. You just need to gain the confidence, find it, what it is, and put it out there. Example of that was this. Me sitting here right now is something that I've thought about doing for a while, right? And I was like, yo, am I confident enough to do that? What if? I started giving myself those doubts. What if it fails? What if this? What if that? Then I said, F it. And you know what? I'm going to put out the best product I can. So I went out, bought some new equipment for y'all. I bought a camera, bought a mic, and I said, let's go. I don't really know what I'm doing, but guess what? It doesn't matter. I'm doing it. And I'll iterate. I'll learn as I go. Now, I'm going to take a break and say that if you're interested And anything you're learning today, shoot me a DM, Facebook, IG. You can message me at jwooden85 on IG, or at Live Not Loathe, the name of the company, on IG, or an email address. You can email me at jwooden@livenotloathe.com, and I can put it in the chat if you're interested. And I can send you over the clean sweep exercise, and I can also send you over some other free resources. I'll add you to my email list, and we can go from there. And that way you can get these free resources and really start taking off and taking care of yourself in that way, improving your day-to-day life and outlook. So, and before I go on, you can also book a 30-minute discovery session. I put the link on the on this session's comments. So now I'll go back into this discussion and talk about the second win. This is stop being so damn hard on yourself. We don't have to do everything in a day. I had to learn this, relearn this, and I'm still learning this because it's a tough one. It's like, it sounds good, but it's not easy. When you're an ambitious person and you really want something, it's hard to say, all right, let me take a step back. Let me take a step back. Let me really assess. Let me really plan this out, or let me really just think about how I can do this, right? And again, you don't have to have all the answers, but sometimes it makes you feel better to have some idea of what you're doing, what the big picture may look like. Depending on the type of personality you are. I'm a big picture person myself, so if I can see the outcome, I'll go ahead and do it. Go for it. I don't need to know how the steps. I'm just going to go for it, invest in myself, and learn. Now, the reason why I feel like that is because going for something is much better than not doing anything at all in my book, right? If I said I tried again, it didn't work. I tried again, it didn't work, but I really want this to happen. I may get something completely different out of it. I may get a different type of success. And I also want you to know that, success is not linear, right? I will say that success is actually insulated by failure. And I'll say that again. Success is insulated by failure. And what I mean by this is, in order to accomplish a goal or something great, you have to be comfortable with experiencing heartbreak, disappointment, and fear. Each one of these things alone is enough to stop a person in their tracks. But for you, these things need to become fuel to the fire. You need to know that pain is there to remind you how great joy feels. Embrace the suck, as we say in the military, because the reward at the end is, this journey is so damn sweet. Nobody can take it away from you once you do it. And it's going to lead you to doing other things that you didn't think was possible before. Third thing, appreciate yourself. Celebrate your wins. I was talking to my guys in the group, the Facebook group that I mentioned earlier, and I was saying like, you have to celebrate your wins because you've done all this work, right? You've gotten here. Wherever you've come from before that, you're now in another space, right? No matter if you came on hard times, no matter what the situation may be, you are learning and you're growing as a person. You cannot let any obstacles or adversity take that from you. You have to be able to look back and say, hey, I've overcome a lot in my life, whatever it is. And your journey isn't the same as someone else's. So just because someone else may have gone through something different from you does not mean it's necessarily belittling or downplaying what you've gone through. And we have to understand that comparison is the enemy. Don't compare, right? The only person you're competing with is the old you. In order to really succeed, you have to get rid of that person. Every day you have to become a different person and be better. Now, some people might say this is fluff, right? This is bull, whatever, and that's okay. But it's proven that when you really take that time out, even if it's 2 minutes, just to remind yourself how dope you are, or if you wake up and affirm, you know, that you dope as hell and you really working on your dream business and it's growing, or that you're awesome and you deserve all the blessings that you're receiving. Doesn't matter what you're saying, as long as you believe it. Doesn't matter if that other person believes it. As long as you believe it and you're uplifting yourself. Now, I'm not saying you have to, lie to yourself. Don't do that. If you feel like you're not giving it your all, let yourself know. Like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What you doing? And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit in the next segment. So let's recap here for the self image portion. There's three things to enhance your self image. One, start small. Two, stop being so damn hard on yourself. And three, appreciate yourself. Celebrate your wins. I had someone in the Facebook group for my guys for the Kings say that they pretty much hide their wins. They don't celebrate their wins. They hide their wins because they don't want to, feel like if they don't express it, then no one's going to downplay them or no one's going to take that feeling away from them. And that's real. That's real. Like, yo, I don't want to share this with anybody because I don't want somebody telling me that it didn't mean much to them. You know, and that's real. I felt that. That's why I say you have to believe it. You have to believe that that was a big milestone for you. And you can share these things. The people who really love you, that circle of influence that you trust again, that's the people that will really cultivate a stronger you. That's the people who are not there to hurt you. They are there to help you, right? That's the ones you can go to. And it's also good to have like a mentor or someone that you can talk to if you're unsure about something, but you really want to do something. Someone who's maybe has done that. Don't listen to the people who haven't done what you're going for, because they're typically, I'm not going to say always, but they're typically a naysayer, right? They're typically going to see the obstacles and not the reward that you're going for. Now, for perception. This is really the foundation of everything else we're talking about, because no matter how great you're doing, if you feel like you're lacking, then that's what it is. You are lacking. Um, I think it's Henry Ford said that if you think you can do it, you're right. If you think you can't do it, you're right. And this is what we're tying this into, right? How you talk to yourself really comes into play here. If you talk down to yourself, then how can you expect to level up in life, right? You're telling yourself, yo, you suck. You, how are you going to go anywhere? How are you going to keep ascending if you're holding yourself down here? It's not. That doesn't even seem right, right? So I'm a firm believer in keeping it real with yourself, as I mentioned earlier, but still believe in your abilities. Like, I know I'm not going to be LeBron on the court, but I know I can play all out. I can hustle my ass off, right? And I can still make the difference in the game in my own way. It may look different, but I'm still contributing. I'm still getting to the same goal, which is a win, right? I'm still getting to that same goal. Hopefully, I win. So don't compare yourself with others who are doing it, right? Because you don't know their whole story and how they got there, right? Just understand that perception works, and we've seen this time and time again. Think about Barack Obama. If he believed that he had no shot at the presidency, and before that, the Senate, he wouldn't have lasted through the rigor and tumult of running a campaign. The attacks on his character, the attacks on his family, his legacy, that could have brought him down. That could have made him say, you know what, this is not even worth it, right? Maybe they're right. I'm not the man I thought I was, right? But he knew that he was the right person to bring about the change. He knew that it wasn't the politics for him. He knew that he truly, genuinely cared and wanted to see something different for the country. You have to understand that you're the right person to bring about the change in your life. And on a greater scale, you can bring about change in the life of those you care about. That sphere of influence I mentioned. And you may even go out. You may touch thousands. You may touch millions. But you can't do that if you're holding yourself down. You can't do that if you're telling yourself that your story isn't worth it. If you're telling yourself that what you're trying to accomplish is minuscule, it's small, it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of this world, but it means everything in the grand scheme of your life. And you have to understand that. So from here on out, I want you to tell yourself that perception is reality. If you want something to change, you have to believe that you can be the catalyst for that change. How do you change your mindset and see things in a positive light? How do you go from, hey, you know, eh, I don't have that feeling. I don't feel like I can do this, to, hell yeah, I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to do this. Some tools, meditation, affirmations, self-talks, and there's many more, but these are some that are easy wins that you can just implement right now, right in your day. You can go right now and be like, hey, I'm gonna take a 10-second micro meditation break, right? But for it to actually work, again, you have to believe in it. You have to believe in why you're doing this. Just to talk about it, talk is cheap. Talk means nothing, right? Talk is, anybody can say anything and it sounds great, but you need to be intentional in practice, and you really need to do it. You really need to try to get better at it each day, right? So we're going to take a little break, and we're going to do a micro meditation, 10 seconds. And I want y'all to close your eyes and really focus on your breathing for 10 seconds. If you feel yourself drifting away, acknowledge it, then bring yourself back to the task at hand. Say, all right, cool. I see you coming in, but right now I'm focused on this breathing. And just do that. That's all it takes, 10 seconds for a quick recharge and a refocus. A lot of us think of meditation as something that's 30 minutes, hours. No. So I'm going to be quiet for 10 seconds. Let y'all get it. Focus on your breathing. Close your eyes. All right, cool. So let me know in the comments. Tell me how that felt. If you felt anything, right? It was only 10 seconds, but those 10 seconds can make a hell of a difference. So now I'm going to talk about affirmations. So and good shout out to my boy Chris Martin, my man. Monster as I used to call him. Shout out to you. Thank you, Tim. Fatima, thank you for joining. Mishko, we used to hoop together. You know what I'm talking about with the basketball comment. But so affirmations, they have to resonate with your values. You can't just say whatever and it's just like because you copied it off of something else and it looked like it sounded good, right? If you say I am beautiful and that's not what you're struggling with, it's not aligning with your values right now. It's not aligning with what you're trying to accomplish. Um, Shameless plug, I'll have a session on values in the works, how to establish your values and how to align your values with your day to day. So be on the lookout for that. Um, but affirmations really work. If you really take an affirmation and you say, I am going to be the best me I can be each day, that's a powerful affirmation, because and you can say that when you feel yourself slipping a bit, when you feel that you may not be on game or on your D, then you can really say like, yo, I am going to be the best me I can be every day, and change what you were doing, right? If you were on the wrong path, that can change you because you're holding yourself accountable. It's really about accountability, and that's what all of this is about. So next, I'll talk about self talks. And this is exactly how it sounds. You talking to yourself. You might see an athlete on the court and be like, yo, get it together if they miss a shot. What's wrong with you? Right? Might be using more colorful words than that, but you get the point. Right? But it's powerful to talk to yourself in the way that you actually speak. Right? If you if I'm doing it, I'm not gonna be like, oh, come on, man. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna be like, yo, get it the hell together. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? Right? And this increases your intrinsic motivation, the motivation you get from yourself, right? And it raises your focus on the task, on whatever you're trying to do, because you're understanding that you're slipping a little bit and you need to go ahead and take your energy and point it in the direction of the task at hand, and really get rid of those distractions, whatever else is on your mind at that time. So another recap on how to change your perception. Some form of meditation to strengthen your focus. Affirmations strengthen your belief in yourself. Self-talks to motivate yourself and raise awareness to the task at hand. Now, I've covered a lot so far. So let me know if you fill in this content with some likes and some shares with anyone you feel that can benefit. I'd love to hear what else you'd like me to address, so you can put that in the comments as well, or shoot me a message, DM, or whatever you feel. And also, if you'd like to join live, and participate and ask questions, or have a dialogue, I'm all for that. We can make that happen as well. Let me know. All right. So the last thing that I'll talk about is trust. First question I'd like to ask you is, do you trust yourself? Think about it. Take a second. Think about it. And put it in the comments if you're comfortable with your answer. Let me see. Let me check these comments really quickly. Okay. Put it in the comments if you trust yourself. And then I would like to ask, if you don't trust yourself, have you addressed the root cause for the lack of trusting yourself? Have you really had that introspection and thought about it? What does that stem from in the past? Because a lot of this typically is the past. That's why therapists go there with you, right? They want to ask you those tough questions, take you down memory lane, to really see why you are the person uh, that you are now today. In many ways, yes. Thank you for sharing that, Fatima. So a lot of times we think that trauma uh, that happened in the past, or whatever it was that happened in the past, we can just pack it up, ship it, and it'll be gone, right? Thank you, Toya. I'm glad you trust yourself. That's a big part of this working. Um, but shipping it, packaging something up, and putting it in a box and storing it, saying, "All right, I'm not dealing with it." I acknowledge it. I know it happened, but it'll be gone one day. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, you really, really have to address that issue, whatever it was, because it manifests itself in so many different ways. It could be relationships, it can be communication, it can be your motivation. It could be anything, right? My traumas manifested itself in my communication issues, right? For a while, like anyone who knows me, they probably know, like I could not speak to you for a week, and I'd be like, "Oh shoot, did I not speak?" You'll hit me up, be like, "Yo, what's going on?" I haven't spoke to you. And I'm like, "My bad." That's where that trauma comes. It shows itself, right? Because I was used to like not having that stability in my life where I can just reach out and be like, "Yo, what's going on with this person?" Because one time, I might talk to that person one day, and then next thing you know, they're gone, or they've done something, or whatever. So I have to address that. And I'm still addressing that. So identify how that trauma manifests itself for you, and then that now you can tackle it. Right now you've addressed it and you've identified it. Now you can really tackle that. So what you need to do now, I mentioned putting in the work to increase your self image and your perception. And then the trust may already be there, right? That's why, some people say they trust themselves. It may already be there if you've been doing the work. But the drastic step that a lot of us have to take to really address this elephant in the room, this thing that's holding us back, being yourself. Dramatic, huh? Like that's crazy, right? This is the solution is being yourself. Now, it's no secret that by fearing how others see you, it can make you uncomfortable in your own skin. Really trying to be a people pleaser or getting the approval of a certain group or someone can really take you down the path of losing you. Now, it's, it's time to say F that and be unapologetically you. I hope that means that you'll be a compassionate and caring person to really maximize this thing called life. Another thing we'll have to do is work on our decisiveness. Trust your judgment, go for it. If you think, like, hey, I want to do this, this is really what I think, serves me and really is my purpose, my passion, go for it. Try it out. Really give it your best shot. Don't just half-ass it and say, "Oh, this is fine. This is due for now. I failed." No, go for it. Really put your whole soul and your whole heart in it. If it takes hours a day, do it. Right? Because you don't know the outcome until you do. Don't get caught up in analysis paralysis and end up doing nothing. Next one, spend time with yourself. Understand that you don't need people around you 24/7. Right? Actually, that's some of that space is good to really identify your thoughts and your feelings and be one with yourself. It's great to have mentors around and people you trust, but ultimately you're the ones making the decisions, and you need to make sure that decision is serving you and your loved ones properly. If the trust piece, uh, trusting of yourself, is left unaddressed, you're just adding pressure and stress to your life because you're constantly second guessing your every move. And you're probably doing it without even knowing it. Some of us, this is simple as like, oh, I don't know what to eat, but inside we might know, but we probably don't want the onus to be on us to make that decision, right? But that can happen in a greater scheme of life, right? Where you're like, hey, I don't know if I want to be in this relationship. I don't know if I want to move to another city. I don't know if I want to take this job. Well, these are all decisions significantly can change your life. But these are also decisions that you may talk to someone about, but you have to make a decision. Right? You have to look at the bigger picture and say, how can this impact me? And go for it. Right? If it's speaking to you, go for it. Sometimes we go to a place and we'll say, "Oh man, this speaks to me. I can see myself in here." You end up visualizing, your whole life, right? You may walk into a house that you were interested in purchasing, and you can see the couch right there. You can see yourself waking up, looking out the window at whatever the scenery is, right? You can visualize. This is what you have to do, right? When you're making a decision, close your eyes, visualize what you see when you make that decision, as if you've already made it. And I'll have another session on this too, so stay tuned. So let's recap, right? As we did the other sections. To increase the trust in yourself, you have to be unapologetically you, be decisive, spend time with yourself. How do I know this works? If you know me personally, you know the journey I've taken in life. I've gone from that lost kid who was arrested at 17, senior year in high school, facing 7 to 10 years for an assault and robbery charge, to a successful cybersecurity professional and entrepreneur, all because I started believing in myself. Now, of course, God and others helped me along the way, But I still had to put in the work internally, or else I wouldn't have been accepting of the blessings that was coming to me. So I decided, while I was in my cell, I went back to my cell after seeing my mom and my sisters, the belief that someone may take advantage of you because they know your weakness. The lesson here is that it's actually very strong and necessary to show vulnerability. It affects your self-confidence, your performance, and your life's trajectory. If you hold on to the pain without sharing it with those you love, they can see the pain, they can see the hurt. But in order to help you, you have to be willing to share that. You have to be, it's not a burden. You're not a burden, right, when someone's helping you. In fact, it's shown that when you share that, it increases the bond with whoever you're sharing it with, because now they can be of assistance to you, right? When you think that, you can get through everything by yourself, you may make it through, but it might take longer, and you're definitely not coming out unscathed. You'll have some scars to show it, you know, you'll have some bruises, but it's a lot better to go through things with someone who can help guide you, or who can help be that listening ear, or who may even know how to get you help. So my challenge to you is identify your circle of trust. But first, trust and love yourself. It may sound cliche, but when you believe in yourself and take actions, good things happen. Martin Luther King once said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." Look what he accomplished with that perspective. Now, there's a book I read. It's called "The Obstacle Is the Way" by Ryan Holiday, and it's the Stoic book, so it covers older philosophers, Socrates, and all these guys. But the reason why I find it powerful is because it the whole premise of the book is talking about perception and how powerful it is, right? The whole So pick it up. Let me know if you like it. It's a really powerful book. Now I'm a self help book type of person because I feel like even though we may know what to do, sometimes it's better to get that guidance, right? Sometimes it's better to go outside because you may not necessarily be able to get over what the hump is for yourself. So, thank you for sharing, Fatima. You barely spoke in school because of bullying. You still struggle with that. So I would love to learn more about that, Fatima. I would love to see how that manifests itself in your life. How you're still struggling with that bullying. If it's something that you may benefit from, speaking with someone. Uh, so this is my first session. I really want to know your feedback. I really want to know if this resonated with anyone. If you found it beneficial, shoot some love, show me some likes, show me some comments, share this with people. I'll post a video probably tomorrow sometime, and I'll also be creating a YouTube channel to stream these sessions as well, and I'll be streaming other content there. So I'll let you all know when that's created. Um, Thank you so much for joining. Remember to DM me or hit my website link that I put in the comment section for a free 30-minute discovery session. If you're serious about changing your mindset and turning your dreams into reality, we can see if the partnership will be beneficial to you, will serve you in the way that you're looking for. I do want to stay on for a couple of more minutes just to see if anyone wants me to talk about if anything's coming up for them for self-confidence. We could talk about it right here, right now. And I'll be here. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you for joining once again.